I recently read The Journey of Souls. When I say I read, I mean I listened to the audiobook because my attention span is buggered because of social media. If you don't know, The Journey of Souls is a collation of hypnotherapy sessions from past life regression sessions. They ask the subject to remember their lives they had had previously and also what they experienced in between lives. The results would astonish you and might go some way to proving that we are actually inside a computer game. When you realise that the world around us is a constructed reality, a lot of things start to make sense. It just fits. The last puzzle piece of the puzzle slotting nice and elegantly together. It explains God, which is simply an old-fashioned way of saying creator or server admin. Therefore, it explains why every major religion says there is a creator that made us. If our lives are just a video game, then what happens after we die? In The Journey of Souls, the subjects talk about their experiences being souls and choosing their next life. A bit like when you're choosing a character on a video game. They could also choose any person throughout history. Time isn't linear like it is to us. The soul can take on as many lives and play as many characters as they want. Reading this book, it occurred to me more and more that life is a video game, a simulated reality, computer generated, and for us to experience hardship, pain, regret, remorse, guilt, and also joy and happiness. The purpose of your life on Earth isn't to be happy. This is a human idea, and it's nonsense anyway. You will never be happy while trying to be happy. It's a paradox, you see. Happiness is fleeting. It comes in moments and cannot be sustained. It's like sugar. It tastes good if you haven't had it for a while, but too much makes you sick. The purpose of life is to live out your express life path that was chosen by the real you before you chose to incarnate into your character that you call you. Also, a quick note. If you like comedy and funny videos, then head over to my skit channel where I post all my funny comedy stuff. The link is in the description. Now we move on to karma. The idea that if you do bad things will happen to you, I think is almost right, but we humans are impatient. We want it to happen sooner than it perhaps does. In a video game, you can be evil. You have that choice. If you are, you will usually fail the life lessons. You accrue minus experience points, which you need to pay back by having the same thing done to you. So if you go through life abusing children, murdering people, and being generally a vicious bastard, then at some point in your future, you will have those things done to you. And this explains a lot, because we often say that life isn't fair. Why is that? Because we see good things happening to bad people, and bad things happening to good people. But maybe that bad person who has something good happen to them, maybe they win the lottery or something we humans regard as good, is perhaps because they had already accrued positive experience points from previous lives. Maybe bad things happening to you is like payback because you did that to someone else in a previous life. Another interesting thing to note is that souls talked about living lives in between, so living some lives that were just plain boring. They would, for instance, remember being a Viking who killed and slayed people. That was their amazing life, but afterwards they went for a few hundred years living perfectly ordinary lives. Whether this is a simulation or not is largely irrelevant. It's interesting to look at for a while, but it's what you do about it once you know this. We're all playing a role. There are no NPCs because it's like World of Warcraft. Everyone is a player, like a huge online MMORPG game. But you only need to look at the graphical advances made by Unreal Engine 5 in the last couple of years to see that even now we have almost lifelike graphics in video games. Can you really deny then, at some point, maybe in 10 years, maybe 50 years, that it won't look indistinguishable from reality? You can't deny that. You can scoff and say, nah, but that's just because you don't want it to be true. You can't disprove the point. Just like the geezer that said Earth spins around the sun rather than the other way around. No one at the time liked that idea. It didn't fit with their nice image of the world. And we kill those guys, or discredit them. It's a bit like Neo in The Matrix. When he wakes up, he has Agent Smith after him. But there are a crowd of people that act in the same way. They don't like you thinking in a way that is foreign to them. These are the people that claim to be tolerant. But that's fine. That's their experience. And other people say, yeah, but evolution, science, they provide the answers. Of course, that's what slots the simulation theory mainly in philosophy rather than science. But if this is a simulation, do you really think they would forget to add evolution? Of course not. would just simply be a line of code that allows animals to do so. Science looks at the purely material, the things that are already inside the simulation. The double-slit experiment is widely regarded as the best evidence for our reality being a simulation. Even the CIA did an experiment in the 1970s with Robert Monroe. Through a series of tests, they concluded via a 26-page report that our reality was a holographic computer-generated experience. Wacky, huh? Look into it. If reading The Journey of Souls taught me anything, it's the following. You are a soul inside a character playing a virtual reality video game of a human in this time period so that you can learn, grow and expand as a thing. We're not trapped here, we came here. It's hard on purpose because we are the bravest souls around, the most adventurous in the entire universe. And when we die, we meet the souls who are playing as our parents, our friends, our family, our partners. Each like an actor in a play, and you are the actor in their play. Other people say, well, you can't process that much data for a simulation this big. Someone said that once and all the naysayers cling to it as fact. But let me say this. When you play a video game and your character's on the screen, does that computer game render the entire world in one go? No. I'll tell you how it renders it. It renders only that which you look at, so the field of view of the character. At any point, it's only rendering about 0.1% of the entire map. With your life, you follow a set script, like a film, but there is room inside it to improvise, just like a video game. The writers have written it in such a way to make you feel like you're making a choice, but it all leads in the same direction. So, do the bravest thing you can while you're here. You know the difference between right and wrong. It's like a choice in a video game. Follow your gut, that's the seat of your soul. You can tell if someone is good or bad through their eyes. They are the window to the soul. No one is good or bad. They're just playing that way. Like choosing a good or bad path in a video game. It's never too late to change paths either. So it doesn't matter if you feel down or depressed because it will be over shortly when you die. Then you'll know for sure that what I'm saying isn't just complete bullshit. But we can get clues and indications about this from near-death experiences and past life regressions. Sometimes even from meditations as well. Scientists are still trying to work out how the universe is what they call perfect, which implies it was created, that it didn't just happen by accident. The odds are actually astronomical, and the odds of us being in a simulation are billions to one, according to Elon Musk. And all of this life exists within multiple versions of lives. Each decision branches off and auto-saves with each new significant decision. We call these parallel realities. It's just like logging into an MMORPG. There are different servers to house the amount of players that want to play. So what I'm saying is that all of life is computer code. Are there clues? Yes. Glitches in the matrix. Collective memories of things that we call the Mandela effect. Let me put it simply. You are a human being played by a soul that exists in a simulation above this one, with other souls that are playing as your friends and family. When enough experience points are accrued by the soul, they progress upwards and become a soul teacher, and they keep progressing until they become part of the One again. The One is, let's say, God for argument's sake. Some call it the Godhead or the infinite intelligence, who is really playing all of us inside multiple simulations whilst pretending that it's not. This might be the last video I ever make on this channel, so make sure to follow me on my comedy channel right here.